Hi, Hailie with Print Ninja here. The purpose of this video will be to explain how a 2D template for card or board game packaging translates into a 3D box. I'll go over tuck boxes, two-piece boxes, and magnetic closure boxes. If you're struggling to visualize how your box artwork should be laid out, this is the video for you. In order to demonstrate this, I'll be taking a printed template and wrapping it around the corresponding box type. The areas on the templates are labeled with what surface that section represents, so you can better understand how each piece maps out onto the final box. Pay close attention to where those labels end up. Another important note is that your box artwork will need to have bleed margins. Different packaging types have different bleed considerations, but the purpose is the same: to ensure consistency in your end product artwork. Most standard tuck box templates can be found on our website. Even if you're still working on creating your artwork, they're handy to use as a reference as you plan your designs. Your artwork will be printed directly onto the tuck box stock, which is then trimmed out as one large piece and assembled. Another easy way to visualize how your template becomes a box is to go in reverse. Take one of our tuck boxes, open both ends, and separate the glued sides. Now you can lay the tuck box flat, exactly like your template. The first thing you might notice about this template is that the bleed margins extend all the way around like a rectangle. This is because of how these boxes are constructed. Rather than printing directly onto the box material, as is the case with a tuck box, artwork for a two-piece box is printed onto a large sheet of paper, which is then wrapped around the assembled paper board. Magnetic closure boxes are the most complex of the three. The best way to make sense of the template may be to work backwards from the box itself. Separate it into two main pieces. One piece is the lid, which is really just one big, flat rectangle. This rectangle is then wrapped around the second piece, the bottom, which is like the bottom of a normal two-piece box. To break things down further, let's look at each piece section by section and see which panels are visible and when, and which aren't. For the bottom of the box, which is the main box part, these sides will always be visible. These will not be, because this is where the lid is adhered to the box, and this one is only visible when you open the front panel. For the lid, all parts of the outside are visible. Only half of the inside is visible when you open the box, since the other half is where the lid is secured to the bottom. Unlike a two-piece box, you can't remove and rotate the lid, so keep this area in mind as a sort of compass when figuring out how to orient your artwork. Another helpful tool to help you understand how your box art will be laid out is to order a deluxe card or board game sample pack. You can request to see samples of specific packaging types when placing your order. This way, you'll have physical examples of our boxes in hand and be able to see up close how they're constructed. Different companies construct their packaging in different ways, so it's important to see samples that we've printed. Because our boxes are custom made to their contents, the samples may not match your own project specs 100%, but they can still act as a useful visual aid as you set up your own box artwork. If you're still not sure about your box layout, I recommend trying exactly what I did in this video. Print out your template and wrap it around a similar box. Even if the dimensions aren't exactly one-to-one, doing this is a great way to make sure everything is oriented properly. If you're still having trouble with your artwork or have any other questions, please feel free to reach out.